Hi, welcome to this overview session of Nodinite. My name is Mikael Olsson. I'm the CEO of this company, and I will be your host in this demo. So let's start right away by jumping into the web client of Nodinite. So in this tool, we have a dashboard with some widgets. You're automatically logged in using integrated security with Windows. And you will have a Nodinite instance, maybe for your production environment, your QA, and so on. Nodinite comes with a fixed price, so you can have as many environments as you feel fit. To the left, we have this sidebar menu, and you can obviously jump to the dashboard. I'm actually going to be two people running this demo. So this is the administrator of the system. Let's start another session and log on as a business guy. So the business guy have limited access, but still interested in what's going on. And if I put these side by side, you will see that the business guy didn't have the technical dashboard. In fact, it's a very crippled dashboard in this example. So to the left, the administrator now can further explore the concept of logging. Nodinite has a centralized logging, and you can log from virtually any platform like BizTalk, Azure, MuleSoft, Boomi, and so on. In Nodinite, you will facilitate search by adding log views, and you can tag your log views if you have a large number of log views. My business guy user have a limited set of log views. For example, the business guy is allowed to search for orders by order ID. And as you can see, it's the role-based security kicking in, limiting access to shared resources. But in this case, maybe I'm interested as the business guy to search for orders. So in Nodinite, you can create virtually any kind of log view, searching for virtually any kind of data. But I'm doing this with limited access here. And as you can see, if I want to search for order number 123, that would be dead simple. In this case, I did a search which automatically started. I can start this timer to refresh the page according to my settings. And obviously, I can select the time frame on the data that I want to search for. My admin user happens to have access to the same log view. That doesn't need to be the case. Even the administrator can have limited access rights. They look fairly similar at this stage. So anyway, let's have a look at one of the batches here. And in this case, we can see that we have this order. And in Nodinite, maybe you want to explore this data. So further, maybe you want to have a sneak peek at the data, but the business guy has limited access and is only allowed to look at the payload using a style sheet. Nodinite comes with Liquid to style JSON messages, and we also support XSLT for XML messages. The end user does not need to care. So maybe the report, the order report in this case for this message looks like this for the business guy. Let's do the same thing as the technical guy. The technical guy might have access to do the same thing, but I'm more interested in what was on the wire. And in this case, it was an XML message that you can further toy around with, maybe pretty print it, show the hidden characters, and so on. The beauty of this is that you can hide data for your end users. Obviously, there could be a lot more data in the actual message compared to what you're opting to display for the end user. if we look further at the details here, we will see that we have some search fields. So from this batch, we extracted some order numbers. And in Nodinite, we have something called search field links. So it's possible for me, given obviously that the target system supports deep linking, then I can, without copying and pasting and logging on, having multiple sessions around, then I'm able to quickly jump to that system with the ID. So let's have a look where Emma Boda is on the map, for example, just to prove the point here. So without doing any copying or pasting, I can simply and quickly navigate further to the data that I might be interested on. Also, I can write a comment. Maybe Adam is attending this order. If you want to leave a comment, you can do that. So the business guy wrote this comment, and the technical guy, if I open, let's see, if I open the same order, then we can see that someone wrote the comment. So good thing, I can add another comment. So you can go back and forth like this, which is obviously quite helpful if you have a problem with logged messages and you want to do stuff with the messages. Given that you have the rights, you can download messages. So I can select maybe all or just a few and do whatever I want to do with them, resending them, save them as a zip file, or export them because I want to export them to another environment for further work. This was a little bit short on the logging feature of Nodinite. In the end, give anyone access and the ability to search for the data that they are interested in, presenting it in a nice way that they can interact with. Let's move further to the monitoring. So the role-based security in Nodinite works in a similar way for monitoring. And the monitoring are composite views in Nodinite. So you will have haystacks with needles. The needles are your links in your integration chain. And on a high level, I will have to the right with the business user, I have a few monitor views that has different kind of problems or no problems at all. Let's jump to the order monitoring here. And here we can see, and I will do the same thing on the left. So I will jump to the same monitor view from the technical perspective and from the business side. On the business side, given that I'm the business guy, we can see that there's a problem in this case with a disabled receive location in BizTalk. We can also see that there are some failed runs in Azure. And there are some dead letter messages on some service bus queue. With Nodinite, you can grant your end users the right, delegated rights to interact with these resources. The business guy is not the technical guy, so maybe it doesn't know what to do with the disabled receive location. In Nodinite, we have something called knowledge base articles, making it very easy for your end users to find information about what to do when there's a problem. And you can see here to the right that there is a newspaper icon. This one didn't have anyone, but this means that there is one or more knowledge base articles tied to this particular resource. So if we click on this button, I'm able to read about what to do. So in this case, it was an operator instruction telling me what to do. Obviously, you could have other information elements in your documentation to tell the end user what to do about this problem. But we noticed that there is something called actions here. So in this case, I'm allowed maybe to restart this receive location. So in a few seconds, this receive location will start. We can further, while we wait, look at the failed runs in my Azure workflows. So here I can jump further to either the Azure portal, I can create comments on the rows, and I can even resubmit or remove this error from the list of errors, because you need to attend to your problems. And given that you fixed all the problems, then you can remove all of the problems at once. If you have dead letter messages, we built the Service Bus Explorer into Nodinite. This means that you can purge a dead letter queue, you can interact with it, list the dead letter messages on the queue, have them removed, replay them, or do whatever is necessary to do to make sure your integrations are really going as you want them to. What if this was a critical problem? What is the SLA level behind this? So in Nodinite, we have this repository model. And in the repository model, let's see what happened there. Okay. In the repository model, you can read about the custom metadata. This custom metadata tells me additional information about this solution. So I could maybe have some markdown scripts here, or a mermaid diagram. This is a coded diagram, it's not an image. You could maybe have uploaded documents. You could link to your existing wiki or SharePoint or whatever have you, given that you haven't moved the documentation to Nodinite yet. Maybe the important stuff here is that we can see that there indeed was an SLA level tied to this resource. In the repository, you can jump further to the integration landscape. The integration landscape is another way of documenting your workflows. This user has read-only access. So if we do the same thing, being the admin, I will have additional features enabled. For example, I have the toolbox. I'm able to do edit. In this case, let's have a look at who's responsible for the warehouse solution. And here we can see that Emil is the system owner, and this system was put into production in 2019. So this really helps you better understand how your integrations are built, which systems interact. And let's pretend you're going to replace BizTalk with Azure. Then you need to rewrite 5 integrations, because your BizTalk platform in my example here is used by 5 integrations. Actually, this is a nice feature. So if we jump to the systems level, being the technical guy, we have the BizTalk system. So those 5 are actually these 5. So it's very easy to navigate back and forth, have full control of your repository-based items. I think that concludes my short overview of Nodinite. In the next session, we will prolong this demo, doing some additional correlation, looking into the non-events feature of Nodinite. So thank you for listening.